Now then, our next speaker is just, as I said earlier, one of the best speakers I've come across in forever. He has so much knowledge, and the way he gets it across so that everybody understands it is just amazing. The TTP I put together for this speaker is called Trust the Process. And this man does trust the process because it's given him an amazing life. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm sure he's going to talk about it. In fact, just behind stage there, he said to me, "Brian, are we running on time?" "Yes." "What am I supposed to be talking about?" Which, considering it's his slot, is probably a little bit mind-numbing, but never mind. Please put your hands together. Take plenty of notes from this amazing speaker, the one and only soaring manager, everything on the plan, Mr. Andy Waring!
Thank you. It's just a little joke I always have with the MC before I go on. Should have seen his face. And how long have I got? I do know. I've got slides. I am prepared. It's such a privilege to be asked to speak at one of these events, especially, I was just talking to Bob backstage, and he was saying that this is an absolute record attendance for one of our December success days. And that is, I think, a mark of the kind of year that we've had. Not only the growth that we've experienced in the year, but the acceleration of growth that we're seeing towards the end of the year. It's absolutely incredible. I have seen so many people today who have come up to me and told me that this is their record month. November was their record month in terms of case credits, record month in terms of bonus check. Big smile on Diana Page's face, record check. I had my own biggest check ever for November. The growth is just phenomenal. But this is just the beginning. I can feel it. I can sense it. Next year is going to be the most incredible year that we've ever seen in our whole history. Next year, for the people that are engaged with the growth that we're experiencing, is going to change their lives. I mean, it's going to change their lives for good, forever. Which is very, very exciting. Very, very exciting, especially for those of us who feel that, know that, are ready for it. Just you and me then. But here's some truth. A lot of people will see what's happening. A lot of people will be engaged with what's happening, but they won't be ready to take advantage of the momentum. They won't be motivated to get stuck in, to build a plan. My experience of our industry is that around 20% of the people who are in the right place at the right time actually take full advantage of it. That leaves 80% of the people who will have seen the potential, felt the momentum, but won't have got to the point of deciding they're going to do something about it, which is quite scary. 1 in 5 people. Well, it's scary if you think that's a matter of chance, which of those two groups you fall into. If you think it's a matter of luck, my experience is it's not. You get to choose whether you're one of those 20% or one of the 80%. And now is a really good time to make that choice. This minute, as you sat here seeing all these people come across stage, seeing everybody being recognized for their achievements, for their success. Now is the moment to decide that 2013 is going to be your year. I want you to imagine for a minute. Can we have the next slide, please? And I want to talk about my subject is how to make 2013 your best year ever. How to make the difference in your life. I want you to cast your mind forward to the end of 2013. If we have the next slide, Paul, please. I want you to imagine what it's going to be like for you when you get your biggest check ever. You know, it could be that it is massively bigger than it is now. It could be that even if you're brand new in here today, this is your very first success day, you could be picking up £5,000, £6,000 monthly bonus check this time next year. Now, I'm not saying that will be easy. I'm not saying that if you just go to a couple of meetings and listen to a few CDs and call 3 friends and, I'm not saying you'll get a £5,000 bonus check if you do that, but if you immerse yourself in the possibilities that this business has, you could be adding £5,000 a month to your bonus check, even if you're brand new. You could pay off a credit card that has been nagging away at you since the beginning of time with 1 month's bonus check. You could, if you keep on the momentum that you build next year, you could have your mortgage paid off in 5 years' time, just like I did. Actually, it took me 6 years. So even if it takes you 6 years, it's still not bad to do that. This could be what you achieve next year. You could be qualifying for the global rally. Again, so many people coming up telling me that they've qualified for the global rally in Hawaii. Fantastic, all expenses paid trip, jetted out to the other side of the world, quite literally the other side of the world, forever picking up the tab. It's a hotel that some of us in the room have stayed in before. It's the most fantastic hotel. We were talking to Alison Woodley last night about last time we were there. We chartered a catamaran, a sailing catamaran, that came up onto the beach. They put a plank out, and we and all our families, all their families, got on this, and we went out sailing. We went sailing with dolphins. The dolphins weren't sailing, they were swimming. We were sailing. We went diving on a reef, right from the beach, right in front of the hotel. It was the most fantastic, the most beautiful, stunning place. Qualifying for Hawaii this month. Imagine if you are one of those people qualifying for wherever we're going the year after. We won't actually find out where we're going, but my money's on Rio de Janeiro. I send Greg a daily email saying, Rio is my choice, Greg. Rio is my choice. And he emails me back and says, mine too, but it's Rex that'll choose. Now, none of us know. Sometimes not even Greg knows until it's announced. But Rio, imagine it could be Sydney, it could be Sun City in South Africa. It's going to be somewhere spectacular. And this time next year, you could be sat there feeling very, very pleased with yourself, qualifying for the very first time. Just like Michelle and Adrian Pointer sitting there. Who else has qualified for the first time to come? It's just the most fantastic feeling. Ange Poxon, I can see there. It could be you. You could do that. You could be adding $5,000 a month to your check. You could be qualifying for that. You could be on car plan. Or you could be sitting in the same seat next year that you sat in now, thinking, if only I'd have taken that advice. If only I'd have just put a plan together. If only I'd have started working that plan. In fact, if you're one of that group, you might not even be sat in that seat this time next year, because you just might not be able to face the truth that you had an opportunity and you let it like sand slip through your fingers. It's your choice. You can choose which of those futures you have. You can choose whether this time next year your life will be filled with exactly the same regrets and dissatisfactions that it's filled with today, or it's filled with joy and fulfillment and excitement and a sense of achievement and a sense of being in control of your own destiny. 20% of us are going to feel like that. You could be one of that 20%. It's your choice. If you want to be one of that group, now is the moment to make the decision. I want to give you just a few thoughts on how to structure these things for next year. So if we can have the next slide, please. It's about setting a few goals and targets. There is a difference between a goal and a target. And it's really important to understand this. A goal is what you want to achieve, where the destination is. Soaring manager, an extra £5,000 a month on your bonus check, an extra £2,000 a month on your bonus check. It's not for me to tell you what your goals should be. It's for you to decide. It's for you to look into your heart and say, what do I want my life to be like? What will excite me in my life? Your goals are your own thing. Targets, though, are things that we're going to set ourselves, milestones of activity that we are going to commit to. We're going to commit to the disciplines necessary month on month to either propel us towards achieving our goals, or some months feeling like you are dragging yourself forward to your goals by your fingernails. Because it's going to be sometimes tough to have the discipline to do the things. 80% of people may be sat here now kidding themselves that they are going to make that commitment, but the first time it gets tough, 7th of January, they'll be thinking, 2014, that's going to be my year. I promise you. If that thought creeps into your head, remember I said that. And at that moment, you are choosing what your character is. Let's have a look at the next slide, please. So we need to set some targets. What are our targets for January, February, March? And the most important of those is January because it's the nearest. So what is your target in terms of case credits? Your new case credits from newly sponsored people. Personal case credits, and if you've already got a team, your team case credits. But the most important of these is your personal case credits and your newly sponsored case credits, because that is where your new growth is going to come from. Let's have a look at the next couple of slides. But it's not just about the activity, some goals, some business structural goals for the whole of next year. How many new managers are you going to have this time next year? How many new supervisors are you going to have by the end of March? These are numbers you need to set for yourself, because if you don't have a target, you will make excuses for yourself, because we all do. It's only if you've got a target that you're not achieving, or you're not on track to achieve, that you readjust what you need to do in order to get there. These things do not happen by accident. Achieving, I was just talking to Jane behind stage about the chairman's bonus and we're all trying to guess frantically what our checks are going to be this year. And with it being the first of a global incentive, none of us know how big our checks are going to be. And we were just talking about how How sometimes people think it just happens by magic. As long as you've been in long enough, you're going to get one of these things. And you're not. It's about having a business-like approach, business disciplines. If we can have the next slide, please. So make sure that January is your best month ever, if we can just go through the bullet points. The first thing here is to have these goals. This is how I plan my business. It all starts with my goals. And it's the goals for the month. If it is a monthly plan, I have goals for the month. And the two most important numbers to measure are case credits, new case credits, and total non-manager case credits. In general, the manager case credits take care of themselves. So it's about focusing on your new and non-manager case credits. And the headcount, that's the number of people in the team. Because if you want more money, you need more case credits. If you want more case credits, you've got two choices. You either get more case credits out of the existing number of people, which is hard, or you get more people. This is something I learned from a dairy farmer once. He had a neighbor who played Mozart to his cows in the byre, in the milking parlor. And he increased his yield because he cared for these cows, stroked them, played them Mozart. He increased his yield by 5%, which was worth the investment. And I said to this dairy farmer, so are you going to do the same? He says, no. I said, what are you going to do? He said, I'm just going to buy some more cows. If you want more milk, buy more cows. And it's the same in our business. If we can have the next one, please. So then you need to decide how much in terms of retailing are you going to do to deliver these targets? How much in terms of sponsoring activity are you going to do? Significant conversations being a prospecting conversation that ends in an invitation to take a look at the business. Not just a chat with somebody willy-nilly, but a structured conversation that encourages somebody to either come to a business presentation, take a look at a DVD, or sit down and have a one-to-one. Decide how many one-to-ones you're going to have, or if you live remotely like I do, I tend to use the Your Future DVD much more than one-to-ones, although I do both. But decide how many you're going to get in front of people, because you will find that if you don't measure that number, you will feel like you're doing more activity than you are actually doing. I share this with you as a fruit of my own experience. You don't measure it, you don't manage it. You need to have some idea of what you want to do in terms of activity to make sure it happens. And also have a target for results, not just activity. Activity is critically important, but decide what your case credits are going to be from sponsoring. Decide how many supervisors you're going to get from sponsoring. And if we can have the next one, please. And then we need to decide, once we've decided what we're going to do, then you need to look at what the gaps are in your skill set. Do you know how to do a one-to-one? If you don't, you need to sit some people down in front of your upline mentor. Could be a sponsor, but if they've only been in the same length of time as you, you need to go upline. That's exactly how I learned how to do a one-to-one. My sponsor had been in the business a week more than me. His sponsor was John and Jane. I said to John, if I get some people together, will you come and show me how to do a one-to-one? I set 2 days up of one-to-ones, 12 one-to-ones. He came and did them. The first one he did, I thought, that's amazing. I could never, ever do that. Second one he did, I thought, oh, he didn't do that quite the same as the time before. Third time, I can't wait to get this guy out of here. I can do it a lot better than this. Because once you've seen it, it's a simple thing. And part of the process is your mentor showing you how simple it is so as to build your confidence in being able to do it. If you don't know how to do a one-to-one, get your mentor to do it just the way that I did. If you can't make a phone call, sit down with your sponsor or your upline mentor, and if you're really nervous, get them to make the call for you. Just listen to what they say. Seek advice from somebody who's competent, because you need to develop these skills. You need to say, where are the gaps in my skill sets? If you don't know how to do a product launch, you need to do a product launch. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Get 3 people around and get your box out and just talk about the products that you like. Your confidence will grow. But you need to develop these skills, and you need to have a motivational strategy. And for me, this is part of my motivational strategy. Being sat at one of these success days, going to my local business presentations, going to my area trainings. I listen to CDs, I read books. I'm one of Barry's biggest fans. Knowledge is king. I have CDs on all the time in the car. I don't just listen to them once, I'm listening to the same one time and time and time again. Because, I don't know if you've noticed this, but sometimes I talk to people about the opportunity, the fantastic opportunity that we have here, and they don't see it. In fact, they think I'm insane. I was speaking to a guy the other day who showed him the business, showed him the opportunity, showed him what it had done for us and for countless people in the team. And he said, yeah, but what I really need is some job security. This is from a guy who'd been made redundant 4 times in 18 months. But there you go. So I need a motivational strategy to keep me going. I hope you found that helpful. That's how I put a monthly plan together. I would encourage you to do that because it will make a difference for the rest of your life. Did you see Sarah wearing this earlier? Very becoming. I said to Jane backstage, are you going to wear that for your slot? And she said, I will if you will. So, see you all later.